I can incorporate in my events, and things that I can learn from, the mistakes that I noticed, and things that both me and the people that organize can improve. That's the same with the evaluations and the feedback we give. We both learn from the feedback as the audience and as the speaker himself. So do it, just write down all the info that you can get, all the experience that you can get from others, because it is much easier to learn from others' mistake than from your own. And people do mistakes all the time. And that's another thing about events. Don't believe when people tell you that there are no mistakes in the events. There are, a lot of them. But the thing is that you don't make the same mistakes twice. If you do them only once, that's okay. You don't have to worry about a bit. But if you do make them twice, then do learn from them. Because remember that event is not only about you and the participants, it's also about the idea, the goal that you have. Because first, before you organize the event, you have this sort of a grain that you want to grow, that you want to share with people. And this is what you should have always in your head, that you want to share something. And whenever the problems come, remember that there is actually something that you want to do for those people that came here and for yourself as well. So this is why Plan B is a very essential thing. If you would like, I can also share my experience. I do have some resources here. Just in a moment I will show them to you. But making such a list is very useful. You can even do it after the event tomorrow, when you get back home or when you are driving back home. Okay, and no, there should be some kind of other, oh yes. Oh yeah, because I did have a plan B if my computer wouldn't work. There were some kind of different, yeah. Okay, so probably the plan B didn't work. But like alphabet is long, so we can also have plan C, plan D, plan E. So let's go to plan C. I will provide on the event page a list of resources. Why? Because we have internet now, and it's the best resource you can use, both for getting knowledge, ideas for your events. When you look for an idea for a special meeting, sometimes when I attend free clubs in Poznań, and we do share our experiences and knowledge sometimes, and I often hear that I would like to organize a special meeting, but I don't really know what to do on this special meeting. And when you do write it, a special meeting for Toastmasters in Google, believe me, I checked, there are a lot of things that you can, a lot of ideas, hundreds of them, even for table topics, like for different games for table topics. So use it. What else do I recommend to use? Checklists. When I found out that I have a ready-made checklist in my Excel, like my life became a lot easier. At the beginning of every event that I organize, I do a checklist of the things that I know now that I need to do. Just like with the agenda, you write the time, what needs to be done, and who does it. And then, every meeting that you have with your team, or even though you organize it in like a pair or like 3 people, you can always, every week, I do it every 2 days, I look at my checklist and see what has been done and what I still need to do. And what else? There are programs on the computer like Trello, Asana, Nozbe. They were originally made for project management, but event management is quite similar. If you prefer to have, I prefer to have everything like sticking to my walls in my apartment, because that's where I organize events mostly. but still, if you prefer a computer, then they have like great dashboards which you can use, like to do, done, in progress. They are much useful. So I will make sure that the organizers, I will provide you with my list that I was supposed to show here. But as Plan C came in working, we also have this moment now for any questions that you might have.
Yes. Gosh, I probably switched off my brain when you were explaining the budget tips. You mentioned on one hand that we should kind of calculate the budget and then multiply it by 2, but then you mentioned at a margin of 10 and 15%. So what is...
Yes, because when you are organizing events professionally, sometimes you have a bigger budget, like in big companies. Then I would recommend to multiply it by 2, and this is your budget that you will use probably, because it's better to have some money in advance that you wish you won't use. But for events smaller, and especially the ones that you don't do professionally, or the Toastmasters events or events that you do for your family, you usually don't have an excessive budget. Usually, I would say like much unexcessive. You have a very small budget that you can use. So 10 to 15% is a kind of a possible amount of excessive money, like amount over the budget that you can use. If you can't have it, then you will need to squeeze the budget. It happens as well. But just make sure that you do have those 10% or 15% in your budget. It makes your life much easier because you feel safer. And remember that when you don't feel safe and that you feel that everything goes from like under your control, it makes you stressed. And you won't really like your event in the end. Any questions? Okay, so I just want to say that there are my contact details on Facebook, on the page of the conference, and if you ever need any help with Toastmasters meetings, special meeting, conference, or anything in your private lives, just feel free to... Okay. Yes?
Yeah, I have like one small question. Like you mentioned PR is really important, and you also mentioned like sometimes in a company you put together in a team that you don't pick yourself. How do you convince somebody who's not behind the idea to still sell the idea to other people? Because sometimes you put together with a team and you have that goal, but the people in the team themselves are not convinced of the goal.
Yeah, they don't believe the goal actually.
How do you make them sell it?
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, I use something that's called enthusiasm. And it sounds funny, but when you as the leader of the project has energy and enthusiasm and people see that you're doing it like fully, they will be more convinced and motivated. So you need to show genuine interest and believe in your goal. And people will come forward. I checked it in my own experience. When you have some people that are still stubborn and won't fall for that, you can use some motivational techniques, like when it's their job, for example, you can just talk to them that even if they don't like the idea, then they have to do it. Or even better, you can talk why they don't believe in this goal, or why they don't like the idea. Because maybe it can turn out that they are right, and there was something wrong with the goal that you had. This is why it's important to talk. Talk with your team. Communication is the most important thing. And I prefer personal communication. Sometimes it's impossible, especially when you have like people from all around the world and you organize something over Skype or internet. But still, talking in person or over Skype or by phone, it's the best way to get ideas. Okay. Thank you very much for listening to me, and once again, if you have ever questions about events, feel free to contact me.
there you go. If you're still interested in organizing a wedding and divorce at the same time. Yes. Okay, thank you so much, Gosha. I think this was really useful because in here, let's face it, we're Toastmasters and we speak a lot, right? I said that we're unstoppable and we organize a lot of events. So at least for me, I made a lot of remarks and notes and I'm going to use them. Thank you so much. Right, coffee break right now. It's 10.